Hello, duelists. Tom Box here with Nick Diakiw.
That's me.
All right. So, what did you place at this event?
I placed third in Swiss and also third place in Top Cut.
All right. What did you play?
I played Cyber Dragons.
Okay, that's definitely something that's very new. Well, not new as in like new, because Cyber Dragons were pretty
Bringing back
old.
the classics.
The classics, but it's new to like the meta. Like this is definitely not a meta deck.
No, I actually would classify it as an anti-meta deck. That's right.
Anti-meta.
Anti-meta OTK deck.
Okay, explain this.
Well, concerning the different types of decks out in current circulation, there is quite a lot of emphasis on defense and plussing through attrition. But when your deck has so much power that you disrupt an entire opening board of only 5 cards usually, you can just go through and just punch them for game.
Okay, and like playing Cyber Dragons, that gives you a huge advantage over like the popularity of ABCs.
Absolutely. Although I think I only Chimera attacked 2 ABC players throughout the entire event. It was wild.
It's pretty hard to actually get the Chimera attack off. Since Chimera attack is a bit of a slower play to do, they have the chance to interrupt you.
It is exactly that reason that I don't tell anyone what I'm playing before I play them. So when they contact out in Instinct, against any other deck that'd be a good play, but against my deck, I get a 4,000 attack monster for free basically.
That is awesome. So, do you remember any of your matchups that are memorable? Any crazy plays that you've done?
I had an amazing duel against Russell, who won the event. He placed first in Top Cut, where it was very back and forth, and we were just trading blows and trying to get our best negations out. Him with Totally Awesome and me with Cyber Dragon Infinity. And
the negation battle, you would say?
It would be, yes. But I had one advantage is that I main deck a certain surprise card that will be revealed later, and he had a 1 in 40 card to stop me in the last game of the duel, and that's how he got me. And I don't mind so much because Russell's a great guy.
Yeah, so. He is a great guy. He's one of the... Definitely, I was really happy with the result because he's one of the friendliest guy in this community.
I love him. I can't get enough of that guy.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So I guess we will go into his deck profile. All right, let's see your main deck.
All right, let's get started. First off, we're going to start with 3 Cyber Dragons.
You have to run 3. I'm just kidding.
You absolutely have to run 3. It is the pride, courage, and necessary means to do anything in this deck. You cannot almost do anything without a Cyber Dragon card, either on the field or in the graveyard.
I'm just messing with you.
I know.
But you got 3 different rarities first. So I'm like, oh, there's your pride, there's your courage. Okay, let's move on.
Okay. Then we have to play 3 Cyber Dragon Core. Oops, sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
Yep. This is almost the only +1 in the whole deck.
Really?
Yes, an advantage. You get to search for a cyber card on normal summon, and no, it is not an optional effect. You must activate its effect even if you don't have targets in the deck.
So you can get strike regardless.
Yes, unfortunately, yes. Although
striking is bad though.
Technically, if you have ABC or any of its parts on the board and you have Solemn Strike set, this is a nightmare for me. Anyway, but its secondary Engrave effect allows me to do a lot of plays, including banishing it to special summon 1 Cyber Dragon Archetype card, not just Cyber Dragon, but Archetype card, from my deck onto the field as long as I don't control any monsters.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's a free Cyber Dragon when there's no Cyber Dragon.
Absolutely. Use it as a resource, fusion material, whatever. As long as you haven't activated one of its effects per turn, you can activate it in the graveyard.
And it's a Cyber Dragon on the field.
Yes. It also counts itself as Cyber Dragon on the field. Then, 3 Cyber Dragon Dre. I think we're starting to notice a trend here in the fact that you basically have to play 3 of every good Cyber Dragon card because it doesn't have a lot of support.
Okay.
Cyber Dragon Dre's effect, when it's normal summoned, allows you to change any monsters considered Cyber Dragon on the field to level 5.
That's so it's an instant access to Cyber Dragon Nova.
Absolutely yes, because once you normal summon it, it will check the field and change any Cyber Dragons on the field to level 5, and it enables all of my Xyz plays, including itself. Also, it considers itself Cyber Dragon in the grave, so that's always a plus.
In other words, you have a lot of Chimera Tech fuel for sure.
Absolutely, I have at least 10 Chimera Tech possible cards in my deck just for that occasion. Now we get to the more lesser-known Cyber Dragon support. 2 Cyber Dragon Toon versions.
So Toon Cyber Dragon?
Toon Cyber Dragon. Simply because I need more level 5s to make my Xyz plays live, but I also need the fusion material required for one of my extra deck monsters to be a Cyber Dragon Archetype.
Okay.
Yeah. The only downside is I cannot attack with this turn it is summoned. However, I'm never use it for attack or anything other than being used for material for something else.
Okay.
And then for the one of, the Cyber Dragon Zwei. Now, this is a complicated card in the fact that besides making Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon with it, by revealing one spell and changing it into a Cyber Dragon card.
So he's naturally not a Cyber Dragon?
Naturally is not counted as a Cyber Dragon card. However, it is counted as Cyber Dragon in the graveyard, so basically I just use this for resources only. It has no use other than being a Cyber Dragon in the grave and possibly Chimera Tech. Although I think I beat over someone with game for this when I had no other monster in my hand, and it just happened to work out that way. Now for the non-Cyber Dragon support, I have here 3 good cards. Galaxy Soldier.
Very popular card choice in the current meta.
Absolutely, but it doubles its utility in my deck because I play at least 21 light monsters in my deck. So if I have any monsters that are not applicable to the situation, this allows me to toolbox them into the graveyard to make my Cyber Dragon Nova plays, and also set up my grave for all my Cyber support cards. Yeah. And then as for the complicated stuff, I run 3 Jizukiru, the Star-Destroying Kaiju.
So you're running the biggest Kaiju.
Yes, I am running the biggest Kaiju because not only is it light, it is also machine. So I can search it with a particular spell card that is exclusive to the archetype. And not only that, it's a machine, so I can Chimera attack it with any card. Yeah,
right?
If I give it to my opponent, I can steal it back with Chimera attack or Cyber Dragon Infinity.
So that's your way, similar to how the Kirin Gamasiel, so that's your way of clearing off the Kaiju that you deliver to the other side.
Absolutely, yes. I try my best to get through boards, so I need to get a board clear in case they have any boss monsters, including Alcahest and including Kirin.
This one's pretty interesting. You main deck this.
Yes, and for the main deck, I also run 3 Denko Seika.
Okay, I'm gonna guess this is for the Paleozoics, the Magispectors.
Absolutely. All of those decks fear this card, and often when I summon it, it basically resolves game right then and there, because not only can I normal summon it, I can also special summon Cyber Dragon before that and use cards like Galaxy Soldier or Instant Fusion to make Cyber Dragon Nova. And if there's a clear board, Cyber Dragon Nova and Cyber Dragon I special summon from the graveyard and Denko Seika all add up using their effects to increase damage to do exactly 8,000 damage.
Oh, so you did the math for this one.
Yes,
okay.
my deck is full of magic numbers, and I try to clear the boards as best I can. The only problem is when they Solemn Warning the Denko Seikas, then it's pretty rough, yes. It's 1 in 40 chance. I think it happened 3 times during the event. Much to my displeasure, but that's okay. As for other supporting lights, I have 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbits.
How did you find this card? I felt like this card wasn't that great.
This card, believe it or not, is my only light-themed monster defense against metal foes.
Okay.
Or other interesting card interactions like Alcahest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
for sure.
And other cards that I don't want on the field, but necessarily can't deal with on my turn because I always go second. I can at least disrupt their plays and stun them enough so I can kill them the next turn.
So you're a turn 2 deck for sure.
Absolutely. I always try to go second. I try to pretend like the dice roll matters, but ultimately they always choose first, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Fair enough.
Also, for light support, I run 1 electromagnetic turtle. It only came up a couple times in the tournament, but it's still very valuable in affecting my opponent's plays, because once you banish it from your graveyard during the battle phase, it ends the battle phase entirely, even without declaring attack. So you can activate it in the battle step.
It's just a quick effect.
Yes, it's a very quick effect, and it's also light and machine. It's searchable, and I can discard it with Galaxy Soldier, which is what I did most of the time. Or I dump it to the graveyard with my fusion monster that I'll reveal soon enough.
Okay.
And then for non-machine or light support, 2 Maxi.
Because it's Maxi.
Because it's also Maxi, but also because not only does it stun my opponent from making additional plays, it fuels my resources to kill their board at the same time.
You do want to go second. If they don't commit, they could just die right then and there.
Exactly. So this card ensures that if they go crazy, I can go even crazier. So it's a very good card to play. Not when you draw it in the 6th card, but that's okay. That's always relevant. And for the spells, I have 3 Cyber Repair Plant.
Must
run at least 2. I play 3 for consistency, but when I have the Cyber Dragon in the graveyard, it's a free search. And searching is very important in my deck. I can search Diakiw, Galaxy Soldier, or Electromagnetic Turtle and make all my plays. And then for the fusion cards, I have 3 Overload Fusion. Very important because when I try to push my board for game, most often I get Solemn Striked when I get down to the Infinity play.
Okay, oh yeah, that's for sure. Well, no one wants to deal with the Infinity.
No one wants to deal with Infinity. But this card ensures that the resources I did use go towards something. However many Cyber Dragon Archetype cards I have, I can banish them to summon various Cyber Dragon fusion monsters to push for game even more.
Does it ever hurt if someone goes into like a Rhapsody and start banishing out your Cyber Dragons out of your graveyard?
Fortunately, it did not happen in this event. However, it is quite a risky play because usually when you go into Rhapsody, you have defense, hopefully. But if you don't, then I can get over it.
Like ABC's very standard plays to go into Rhapsody just because it can detach 2 material. It's not even for you. It's just because they can get rid of 2.
That's true, assuming they have a second turn. And then for the other fusion cards, I run 3 instant fusion.
You have more targets than just this. You run more than. You don't even run Norden, do you?
I do not actually run Norden whatsoever. My targets are Panzer Dragon for the light machine type, and then I also have Parapsychroid because I couldn't find the others. I couldn't find the other Panzer.
Okay.
Okay, and then for my board clearing cards, I have 3 Twin Twisters because Twin Twister helps me set up my grave and turn whatever card that's not applicable to the situation into MST also. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward.
And the last 2 cards?
And the last 2 cards are my one-ofs, Raigeki because Raigeki, and Foolish Burial because I need that Cyber Dragon in the grave to start doing stuff, or sometimes I can use it to dump Turtle to save me for 1 turn at least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very utility card, and that is the main deck.
All right, let's go into the extra deck.
For the extra deck, I don't run that many 3-ofs like most people. However, this is the one 3-of I'm always proud to bring out. Cyber Dragon Nova.
So you go. I'm pretty sure that as a Cyber Dragon deck, you use more of Nova than anyone else.
Yes, Nova actually has more than one effect as being used as fodder for Cyber Dragon Infinity.
Did you ever punish anyone for destroying Nova?
I have punished many people at least 3 times during the event. Someone either striked it or destroyed it with some sort of other card effect.
What was the punishment you delivered with it?
My punishment is either special summoning Cyber End Dragon from my extra deck to the field, which is quite a surprise for people who don't read Nova's effect. Or I can also summon Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon.
Oh, really?
Yes, I can also summon that, or any of my other fusion cards that don't require specific summoning conditions.
Okay.
And that will be played into later.
Of course, you have 3 Novas.
Not only that, but its effects are when you banish the Cyber Dragon on the field or in your hand, you can raise its attack to 42, and that came up quite a lot for game.
And you can also summon a Cyber Dragon out of the graveyard.
That is probably its most important effect to continue my plays to push for game.
Alright.
And for my OTK Protection Brigade, I have Cyber Dragon Infinity.
A pair of them.
Now, most people don't play it as an OTK enabler. They use it in stun decks and cheat it out. But my deck uses it for its intended, purpose to protect the OTK from going through and also dealing with problematic monsters.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's pretty straightforward.
This is an interesting one here.
And this one is my one-of prize card, gold rare version. Digvor Zach, King of Heavy Industry.
If only you had the super or the ultra.
If only. But I lowered my standards for this because it's a very powerful effect. I don't think I made it once in the event, but unfortunately. But I have made it in several occasions, and its effect is devastating against pendulum boards and anything.
What's the effect?
The effect is you can detach one material and send the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck to the graveyard, and if any are monsters, you can destroy that amount of cards on the field equal to the amount of monsters sent from the deck to the graveyard.
Non-targeting?
And non-targeting.
Oh, that's great.
Which is amazing when it goes off, but
Alright.
it's definitely an emergency play. For my fusions, I have Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, which
OTK.
is my MVP of the event. A lot of people had to read its effect. By sending 2 light machine monsters to the deck to the graveyard, I can attack that many more times that turn.
How much damage can this card push alone?
63 by itself.
Oh my god.
Which is devastating when combined with Denko Seka, which has
That's
17,
that's
which is exact game
so
magic.
That's your math.
Magic numbers. Other than that, it's also rank 5, so I can overlay things with it
Yeah, a level 5, yeah.
into Infinity or Nova or anything like that, basically.
Very nice.
Yeah. For my punishment side, I run Cyber End Dragon, which came up maybe once during the tournament, and it does.
Please tell me it's against like a Metaphor player that dropped the Gofu.
No. Unfortunately, but that does come up. The piercing does come up, and it's very real when you have forced to deal with it. Limiting
4K.
their resources. 4K is no joke. But that's pretty much it. Just used for that punishment. For my third Overload Fusion target, I have Chimera Tech Overdragon.
Did you make this guy?
I made it once for game.
How much damage? Because your deck is all numbers.
Yes. Fortunately, it was 4,800 damage because it was my last card in my hand. And it was my last play. And I made it on his last kind of resource. And I needed to go for game, and this was it. To anyone saying that this is not a good card, I don't recommend you leave it out if you're playing 3 Overload Fusion, because it can win you games, and it can attack as many times as the material is used for it.
Oh, right.
Yes, so it can steal games from opponents who are not ready for it. For my cheating fusions, I have Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon.
Cheating fusions.
Yep. I do not use any fusion cards to summon this. Instead, I use any Cyber Dragon, I control, or a card considered Cyber Dragon on the field, and any machines on either player's side can be sent to the graveyard to summon this, and it gains attack equal to the amount of materials you used.
Times 1,000.
Times 1,000.
That's great. This is why ABCs don't like dealing with Cyber Dragon decks, because every time they drop a monster, it's just board clear. Every monster is some sort of, say, kaiju level punishment.
Absolutely. Especially ABC. If people don't tag out, then I get a free removal, and it's amazing. One card removal.
You prefer
for
that they
ABC.
don't tag out, though. Because they can't recover the resource.
Yes, absolutely. However, it does come up when they do tag out, but I still get a 4,000 guy, so that's pretty good.
So win-win.
Win-win. There's no reason ever to not play this if you're playing Cyber Dragons. And for my instant fusion targets, I have Panzer Dragon and Parasychroid.
Did you ever use this effect to attack directly? Because you can't use it with. Okay, you can't attack with instant fusion. But
Nope.
did you ever? Okay, it's just CDI material. Or Cyber Dragon Nova material. I should say.
Absolutely, it's used for Nova material. This is a remnant from when I used to run Power Bond for those unique situations where I need to do 3,600 damage per game. But I could not find a second Panzer to replace it in time for my revised deck for the event.
Okay.
So I just left it in.
Panzer's Panzer.
Yeah. Panzer is Panzer.
Panzer. Just overall, it's one of them. It pays for itself, even if it dies.
It's absolutely true. If someone flips up the Xyz barrier, the effect will go off if they call Xyz, so it's very useful. And for my super secret technique, just in case they summon anything on the field that is untargetable and vulnerable to destruction, this card is my out. It also helps me burn enough damage to go for that OTK game push, and also it's my cheat stick against Herald of Perfection. All I have to do is special summon Cyber Dragon or Cyber Dragon type card, and then throw down Ghost Ogre and go for this guy and hope for the best.
So you do have like a beat stick to out those really, really big walls.
Absolutely, yes. I definitely need that. It can clear a Tree Toad hero field by itself by beating over the Tree Toad and then blowing up everything main phase 2. So that's my utility for it. I think I didn't use it one time, but I really needed it just in case.
Yeah, it's a good option.
Yep. And for the side deck, we have
Chaos Hunter.
2 Chaos Hunter, very standard in most people's extra decks, but it has extra utility in my deck in that it also protects me from system down, which is the most common side against me throughout the whole event.
It's just like very unfortunate that System Down is such a mainstream side deck card because of ABCs and Cosmos.
That's true.
And that's why your deck basically had the collateral damage from System Down. Every deck will have it.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
It's like, my deck is not supposed to be that meta, but
Yep.
you already have like a meta side for it.
That's okay. The thing about that is I also run Cyber Dragon Infinity, which can negate system down, so it's kind of a little bit balanced. But
So you have more protection.
this card definitely helps me with. It also disrupts a lot of plays because there are a lot of banish to activate effects in a lot of decks these days, and this card shuts down even Pot of Desires, so it's amazing.
Oh yeah, shutting down Pot of Desires is really good. You shut down basically all the grave effects of like Metalfoe counters for the Metalfoe guys. Can't summon ABC Dragon. Cat Rhapsody.
Absolutely.
Lots of
Everything to protect me, Chaos Hunter helps out. And then for the one up here, I run a 3rd Ghost Ogre for relevant matchups. That's Ghost Ogre, I already explained it. And then for this event, I ran 2 Flying Sea, just for a double up kind of counter to Paleozoic Frogs and Burning Abyss if it ever came up.
Can't they clear this card themselves?
I realized that after the event. I did not get to successfully resolve one. I tried on Russell, but he striked it from my hand, which was an amazing play. I wouldn't recommend playing it. I've already changed it, so that's okay. And for the other side, I also ran 3 system down. Because the only counter to a good system down is another good system down in return. That's pretty self-explanatory. I only resolved it once for a good effect. And,
it's very difficult to do it to the ABC player because they always equip that B in the back.
Well, yeah, you think so, but when you Chimera Tech them, all their effects activate in the grave, but then you can use System Down to get rid of the resource, so it's okay. I wouldn't recommend playing it anymore. I'm going to probably replace those last 5 cards with Winter Cherries and Dante and ABC in the extra
Don't let
deck.
them play.
Yeah, just don't let them play. And then for odd decks, I have Book of Eclipse.
Vanity's out because
it's my out.
The deck is a little stunned if Vanity's Fiend's on the board.
Absolutely, and this deck also helps against barrier statues, and also totally awesome in the draw phase. In the draw phase, before they summon the Duke Frog, you can activate this and bait it out before they can detach in the standby phase to special summon and plus. So you can basically, hopefully, deal with whatever's on board, or at least force them to negate it.
Okay.
And then for the Pendulum matchups, which my deck has a lot of problems with, I side 2 Anti-Spell Fragrance.
Okay.
Sorry, no, not Anti-Spell. Spell Shattering Arrow, sorry. It came up a lot in the event, and I'm still a little shaken by Anti-Spell. Spell Shattering Arrow helps me destroy scales. It helps me destroy continuous spells that hinder my movements. And also, Domain Monarchs could be a thing, which automatically shut down my deck. So this definitely helps against anything that will stop me. It also does some nice burn damage. And for Card of Demise decks, I run 3 Typhoon.
Why Typhoon?
Because it's also a card I can activate in the hand. It's one of those hidden cards that they'll never know about.
A true hand trap.
A true hand trap in all senses of the word. It's useful against any Call of the Haunted, any Oasis of Dragon Souls.
And you don't have any back row, so you can always activate it live from hand.
Absolutely, I can always activate it from the hand as long as they control 2 or more spell or trap cards. And it also doubles as a great counter to Pendulum decks to disrupt their plays enough so I can open them up for turn 2. This came up several times against lots of decks. It's a very underrated card right now. I feel like I wouldn't...
Take out, but you also take out the Union Hanger.
First turn not usually because it's the only card they have on the field, but
like
that does come up sometimes, yes.
Okay.
And it also deals with anti-spell also, which is also amazing.
The true bane of your deck.
Yes, this was instrumental in any Pendulum matchup I had, and I would not have won without these cards, so it's a must-have. And that is the side deck.
Well, thanks for showing. All right, thank you so much for the deck profile. And you got any shout-outs that you want to give out?
I want to give shout-outs to everyone who believed in me, and my friend Champ, who gave me the idea to build the deck. I actually copied his deck this time instead of the other way around. And he kept talking to me and helping me out and play testing and talking to me about it. And shout outs to all my playtest buddies through all the local tournaments, hoping to hone my deck craft. And shout outs to Russell for winning the tournament and being the only one who beat me in Swiss. And shout outs to the creators of the card game for allowing me to have this experience. And MST.TV for featuring me. Thanks a lot, everybody.
That's great. Did you have fun?
Oh, I had the most fun.
All right. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more content from MST.TV and more of the tournament matches coming up, please subscribe. And there's a lot of fun things coming up with my collaborations with the other channels on YouTube. So stay tuned for that. And as always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV.